So this happened. Well, maybe it didn't happen exactly like that. Let me fill you in on the whole story. I've been gone for 3 months, and about the first month or so, probably my fault. Kind of work got in the way, and then focusing on other things, of course. But my computer got zapped in a storm, and I assumed that the power supply went bad. Like the lights never went off or anything, the lights just flickered. But unfortunately, the computer was left on, and typically when that happens, the power supply goes out. Going back to the footage now, I'm actually kind of embarrassed. So I'm doing something I've never had to do before. This computer I had, the Nemesis, I've had this thing for 4 years and it seems like the power supply is finally going bad. So I did my research and I'm just kind of hoping that it is the power supply. If it's not the power supply, this does not fix it. It's a more expensive issue. But little did I know, I may have made matters a lot worse. It went from restarting every time I would launch a game to not even booting up at all and literally screaming at me. So when you hear your computer doing 3 beeps in a consistent rhythm, that usually means that your RAM sticks have went bad. Honestly, I'm not too surprised because trying to pull that big cord out for the motherboard, the RAM sticks did kind of get banged up a good bit because you have to put a lot of force to it. So I did call Ironside and they did confirm that this was the case. Unfortunately, a 3-year warranty expired like 6 months prior to that. But still, regardless, I wanted to send it to them because I wanted to get a direct professional diagnosis of what exactly was going on. And let's be real, I didn't want to screw up another thing trying to do it myself. So we boxed the computer up, bring it to FedEx. 1 week later, I noticed on the tracking number that the computer is still at my local FedEx facility. Hasn't moved. It's actually been delayed. So me being really concerned for like the 4th love of my life. So I'm really concerned. I call customer service ASAP and the guy tells me that they accidentally shipped it to the wrong house in my city. I mean, my heart just completely dropped. So he says that the people that lived there shipped it back to FedEx and that they were trying to get, the correct address. They were gonna try it again before sending it back to my house. So while I had him on the phone, I got him to change the address that it was supposed to go to because it was a completely different address. He didn't even say what it was, but it most certainly wasn't in Austin, Texas. But if you think this is bad enough, it definitely gets a lot worse. 2 weeks goes by. And my package is still at my local FedEx facility, being delayed. I think it got delayed like 3 times. So at this point, I'm beyond ready to just go to FedEx myself and literally grab my computer and just use a completely different shipping company. So I go to FedEx personally. I ask the lady to just see if my computer was there and see if she can bring it back to me. So she goes back there for about maybe 25 minutes, comes back, and she tells me that, yeah, the package is here, but the only thing is I can't get to it to bring it to you because it's already on the truck, ready to be sent out about 9 o'clock the next morning. And she said that if I didn't see it move on the tracking number, to make sure to give her a call. Following day 15, the very next day, it didn't move. I tried calling the girl, nothing. It went to some kind of PIN number thing, which was really aggravating. And the people at customer service really don't know what they're talking about. They're like far from what's going on inside FedEx, truthfully. Hey, you want to see? Come here. Look, it's been a minute. It's been a while, my little girl. She just woke up. Look at this stylish kid, man. She wakes up like this. So on day 15, my lovely, beautiful wife had a voice tell her, go check our old address. So she takes me to work, goes to our old house, and lo and behold, my computer was sitting out on the porch. She immediately calls me screaming up and down, and I just have this calm peace just come over me prior to being overwhelmed with extreme excitement. I about wanted to cry. Thank God. However, the journey is still far from over. Because literally, at this point, I feel like we've made 0 progress because it's never left my city whatsoever. It still has to be shipped off to Texas. And also keep in mind that prior to this, I spoke to customer service at least 3 times in the middle. First guy totally told me the truth. He told me it was sent to the wrong address. And secondly, the other 2 customer service representatives straight up lied to me. They never wanted to say that they lost the package. They said that they never left the facility and that they still had it there. Like I said earlier, they don't know exactly what's going on. Not to mention that the last woman I spoke to cut me off mid-questioning and was in such a hurry to get me to answer like one of those employee surveys that they kind of benefit from it too. But that's a terrible way to get a good review. I left a bad one. So as soon as I got off work, Alex picked me up. We went straight to FedEx and we were gonna play dumb, right? We were gonna pretend like we were still wondering where our package was. So it was the same lady as the day before. She went back there about 20-25 minutes and finally came back and she said, yeah, it's here. It never left. If you knew what was going on in my head when she said that, you would have thought you would have thought that World War III was happening. This could go either one or two ways. I could be really ugly about this, or I could do the Christian thing and just kind of give a polite correction within the whole thing. Jonah Barbie, hey, we're gonna pretend like this was the lady right here. So I ended up asking her, did you see it, like visually with your eyes?
Yeah, it's definitely here. It's somewhere here.
You mean to tell me that it's lost?
It's somewhere because they scanned it at the facility today.
At this point, I completely lost faith in FedEx. So I broke it down for her. I didn't want to be really mean about it, like I was setting her up for something. And I just straight up said, listen, I know that it's not there and that it was lost. I found it at my other address earlier today. And she just, the look on her face, it was like extreme disappointment, you know? Not that she felt like she was guilty or anything, because she was kind of guilty of lying. But more so disappointed that her company would literally do something like that. I told her it was at a house that we used to live at 4 years prior, which of course was around the same time that I got the computer. The old shipping label was still on the box, but the thing is, that ticks me off the most, okay? Because that would be a simple mistake, right? A FedEx shipping label is invalid after 28 days. It's no longer usable, for starters. Secondly, they put an extra label on the box saying that the shipping or the box was not in file. And it even had a little date on there on the box of the day that it was shipped to the house. So it had been sitting out there for 12 days. 12 days! We had several storms come in. That thing could have got rained on. It had plenty of opportunity to be stolen. The girl told me that if they put that on the box, they're really not allowed to ship it anywhere. It's supposed to stay at the facility, but the driver did it anyway. So long story made a bit shorter. She told me that she would personally take the package and put it on the truck and make sure that it was going to be sent out that night. Because I was like, I'm just ready to get my box back and use a completely different shipping company, put express shipping on there or whatever. She kind of taught me into trying again, which I probably shouldn't have, but it all worked out anyway because she put it on the truck and literally about 8 o'clock that night, actually I think it was sooner than that, it was already shipped out to go to Atlanta. You did a good job, miss. Thank you. Although you really shouldn't lie to people. So literally 2 days later, it arrives to Ironside, and it kind of goes through like a queue where it has to sit, because they got so many other computers to work on, but they told me that the problem was never the power supply. Hold up. It was the RAM sticks and motherboard, which I knew the RAM sticks part, but I had a hunch it would be the motherboard as well. But yeah, I had to replace both of those. I felt like an absolute moron. So to reward myself, I'm like, hey, if it's already there, let's go ahead and give this thing an upgrade. So instead of 16 gigabytes of RAM on my DDR memory, we had 32, and I can already tell an enormous difference on this thing. So 2 months later, we are back in business, baby. What are the lessons learned throughout all this? Number 1, you might want to try to be more careful replacing parts inside of your own PC. And number 2, diagnose your issues more efficiently. And 3, if you're an owner of a company or a customer service representative, don't lie to your customers. Like, there's literally nothing that ever comes from lying, okay? Nothing good ever comes from lying, only bad. Our computer finally came back to the house a couple days ago, and me and Levy were so excited that we literally just couldn't help but hug it and kiss it as soon as it came into the office.
I'm kissing it.
But it's time to grind and shine, people. I can't wait to start making videos again. I'll see you on the next one.